Good morning, children. Welcome to another video of the chapter The Sentence. In the previous class, we learned what a sentence is. We learned the two parts of the sentence, that's subject and predicate. We also learned the four kinds of sentences. So it's time to work on some questions. To begin with, let's take our new grammar book that's of Pearson's 7th grade grammar. Come to page number 2 of your grammar book. That's the first exercise. It says, identify the complete sentences, then identify the subject word. So here there are 10 sentences in this question. You will read all the sentences once and then read it again and identify the complete ones. I will do this exercise for you. You can follow up at homes. The first question. Meena is a brilliant artist. A cup of tea for me. Lenient about marks these days. I am a pasture. Rekha is going to school today. Have you taken your phone with you? Seema, a classmate of mine. Let us sit down on this bench. Put the book down on the table. Why for this then? So children, now make an attempt to identify the complete sentences. Meena is a brilliant artist. So what do you think? Isn't it a complete one? Yes, it is. Second one. A cup of tea for me. Is this complete? Well, I think if you add please to it, then it would be complete. So you skip the second one. Third one, lenient about marks these days. Well, this does not make any sense, so it is not complete. I am a pasture. This is a complete sentence. Rekha is going to school today. So here, it's a complete sentence. So now let's just focus on these 5 sentences. We'll move on to identify the subject word, which is the second part of the question. Meena is a brilliant artist. Which is the subject here? What are we talking about? We are talking about Meena. So yes, Meena is the subject. A cup of tea for me, which is not complete. So we skip that again. We skip the third one as well. I am a pasture. Here the subject is I. Rekha is going to school today. Rekha is the subject. Well, I'm sure this exercise is really easy and you will be able to work on the next one. Can you work on the next one? What does it say? Have you taken your phone with you? Is it a complete sentence? Yes, children? Yes, it is. So which is the subject here? Yes? Yes, I heard your answer. That is you. Okay, children. So 7, 8, 9 and 10 is your homework. You will do it yourself. So children, we now come to the next exercise. Let's practice. That's on page 3 of your English grammar book. The question says, identify the subject and the predicate in each of these sentences. So here, what are you going to do? You're going to read the sentence once, identify the subject and then the predicate. So let's begin with the first one. The train arrived at the station at 6 p.m. So here, if you look at the sentence, the train is the subject that we are talking about, arrived at the station at 6 p.m. is the predicate. So, next question, what a naughty boy you are. This is an exclamatory sentence, right? Do you remember? We learned that the exclamatory sentences end with a exclamation mark. So here, what is the subject? That is, what are we talking about? We are talking about a naughty boy, right? So the subject is boy. What a naughty is the predicate. Is the rest of the part of the sentence is the predicate. So the subject is the boy and the rest part of the sentence is the predicate. We'll do the next one. The students walked around lazily in the school corridor. The students walked around lazily in the school corridor. Now here the sentence has the subject which is, can you guess? The students, yes. Walked around lazily in the school corridor is the predicate. You may come in. What is this now? The subject. You is the subject. May come in is the predicate. So students, this exercise is really simple. I have done 5 questions for you. You will be doing the rest of the 5. Alright children. So time for the next exercise. Identify the subject word in each of these sentences. This is yet another very simple exercise. Now, read the sentences in this exercise and try to identify or underline the subject in it. I'll give you 30 seconds to do the first and the second one. Just read while I'm reading it. The manager of the firm slipped and fell down the stairs. The warm and bright spring is the best time for picnics. So these were the 2 questions. Now, let's get back to the first question again. We read them again and this time we read to identify the subject. Okay? The manager of the firm slipped and fell down the stairs. What are we talking about, or whom are we talking about? Well, we are talking about the manager. So that is the subject. You can underline the manager. Okay? Now, let's move on to the second one. The warm and bright spring is the best time for picnics. In this sentence, what are we talking about? Or whom are we talking about? Yes? We are talking about the spring. The warm and bright spring, right, is the best time for picnics. So, that is the noun or the subject word. My uncle is a music composer. So here, which is the subject? My uncle. The cunning minister tricked the king and the queen. Here in this sentence, read it again along with me. The cunning minister tricked the king and the queen. So here, whom are we talking about? The cunning minister. So that is the subject. Drinking water was not available anywhere in the vicinity. So here drinking water is the subject. Was not available anywhere in the vicinity is the predicate. So students, go through the rest of the sentences, read them once and then read the second time to identify the subject. So students, let's move on to the next exercise. Come to the page 6 of your grammar book. That's exercise B. Separate the subject from the predicate. So here you are going to read the question once, identify the subject and write it down beside the sentence. The lion of the jungle caught its prey in a flash. I repeat, I'm sorry. The lion in the jungle caught its prey in a flash. So here, the lion is the subject. So you're going to separate that from the predicate and write it beside. Hurry, the local shopkeeper has a new car. So whom are we talking about here? Yes, children, we are talking about hurry. So you can write hurry besides the sentence. The monsoon is the best time of the year. Okay, so here the monsoon is the subject. The street is decorated with lights during Christmas. So here what are we talking about? We're talking about the street. The next one, Yamuna, a perennial river, flows through Delhi. What is that we are talking about here? We are talking about the river Yamuna. So you are going to write Yamuna, the subject word, beside the sentence. So children, the rest of the sentences would be done by you. And now we move on to the next exercise. That's the exercise C. Now what does this exercise ask us to do? It says, insert phrases from the box in these sentences. You may add them to the subject or the predicate. So here you have in the yellow box a few phrases. Now what are phrases? Yes, phrases are just group of words which are grammatically arranged in an order. However, they do not give you a complete sense, or they do not make a complete sense by its own. They need to be in a part, or they need to be in the sentence to give you a complete meaning. Okay children? So it says near the church. Well yes, it is grammatically arranged. It is making some sense. However, it is not giving us any complete sense. So now, if you add something to it, only then it will give you a sense or a meaning. It says near the church. What near the church? So we are not aware, or we don't know. So that's not complete. That's a phrase. So can we add something to it to make it complete and then construct a complete sentence? So what can you do? The flower seller was standing near the church. Now it makes sense, right? So yes, you will have to use these phrases in the sentences to complete it. You can either add it to the subject or the predicate. Alright children? So let me do 2 questions for you, and then the rest will be done by you at home. A useless carpet is lying in the cupboard. So let me write it for you here. A useless carpet is lying in the cupboard. So yes, what is it that we can add? Now read the phrases once and then read it again to identify which would match this particular sentence. So for that, before we would go into the phrases, let's read it once just to understand what I could pick from the yellow box. A useless carpet the useless carpet is lying in the cupboard. A useless carpet is lying in the cupboard. So here the options or the phrases that we have are near the church, by the river, at the local market, since March, of many colors, with many holes, on the fence, of great beauty, that is grey in color, of strong flavor. Okay, so what do you think will be the best one to suit? Yes, I think with many holes. So where would you add this to? Would you add this to the subject or the predicate? Yes, you're right. We can add this to the subject. A useless carpet with many holes is lying in the cupboard. So how are you going to finish this question? Is by incorporating the phrase over here. Alright children, and rewriting the sentence again in your books. So let me do the first one for you and then we will move on to the next one. So it says, a useless carpet with many holes is lying in the cupboard. Alright children, so this is the first question. Let's move on to the second one. It says, a woman is sitting by the fireplace. Okay, so here, read it again. A woman is sitting by the fireplace. Now what is that we can pick from the yellow box to add? Near the church, by the river, at the local market, since March, on the fence, of strong flavor, of many colors, of great beauty, that is grey in color. Now, well, women and beauty can be associated, like forever. So yes, I think the option from the middle column is the correct one. So a woman is sitting by the fireplace can be written as a woman of great beauty is sitting by the fireplace. Alright children, time to move on to the next question. Now the third question says, a coat would be best for the role. So which is the best phrase that we could pick from the yellow box? Read it again. A coat would be best for the role? Yes, I think you might have chosen by now or picked one by now. That is a coat that is grey. This is the phrase that we chose. In color. Now you complete a coat that is grey in color and then add, continue writing, would be best for the role. Alright children, so this is the complete sentence now. A coat that is grey in color would be best for the role. So we've added this phrase to the subject. So the rest of the questions would be done by you, and we move on to the next exercise, which is very simple. That is exercise D. Use the correct punctuation marks to form imperative, exclamatory, assertive or interrogative sentences, and then identify the type of sentences. So if you remember the previous part of the video, we had punctuation marks for each type of sentences. That is, the first one, declarative, is a statement which ends with a full stop. The second is an interrogative, which asks a question, and that's why it ends with a question mark. The third is an imperative, which gives advice, which gives orders, commands. So that ends with a full stop again. The fourth was the exclamatory type of sentences. So that is which expresses an extreme expression about something, a strong emotional feeling about something, and that ends with an exclamation or an exclamatory mark. So time to do this exercise. So students, time for the next exercise, that is exercise D. So here the question says, use the correct punctuation marks to form imperative, exclamatory, assertive or interrogative sentences and identify the type of sentences. So what are we going to write here? In this exercise, we are first going to read the questions, then punctuate it, right? We're going to punctuate it with either full stop, question mark or exclamatory, and then write what kind of a sentence it is. So to do that, we would first read it, identify the sentence, punctuate it, and then write it. Is that clear? So what are we going to do first? We're going to read the sentence, identify the sentence, then we're going to punctuate it, and then write the short form of the sentences at the end of the sentence. So let's begin. We are going to, when can I see you? It says, when can I see you? So what is this sentence telling us? Is it telling us something? No, it's asking some question. So what is this? Which kind of sentence is this? Yes, it is an interrogative sentence. And what will be the punctuation mark? It will be a question mark. So when can I see you? Here, question mark, and you are going to write the short form of the sentence, that is interrogative. Is that clear, children? We come to the next question. What a lovely piece of music. Yes? So what a lovely piece of music. So what is the sentence telling us? Well, it is trying to express a strong feeling or a strong emotion about the beauty of the music. So this is a, which kind of sentence can you guess, children? Oh yes, it is exclamatory sentence. Very good. So we will punctuate it with a exclamation mark and we would write the short form. Now, time for you to read the next question. That's leave right now. Right? So what is this telling us? Well, I think it is asking a person to leave then and there. So that is an order? Yes. So this will end with a full stop. And which type of sentence is it? Well, you know the answer. Yeah, it's an imperative sentence. So you are going to put a full stop. Okay? And then identify imperative. Next one. Juma will go to the market tomorrow. So what does it say? Juma will go to the market tomorrow. It says that something the person is wanting to do. It's an assertive sentence. So what will be the punctuation here? Yes, the punctuation will be a full stop. And what kind of a sentence I told you? It's an assertive sentence. So I will put the mark or put the short form A. Children, we come to the end of these exercises and we end this chapter, and I hope you will practice and do the rest of the questions on yourself.